What up? What up? What up? How is everybody doing today? Wonderful day, beautiful day. You know, I know Twofold says I secretly love the CBA talks, and look, it's what is at the top of the topic matter or the niche, if you will. I don't really love it, to be quite honest with you. I wish it was over and done with, but what else am I supposed to do? What else am I supposed to do? I'm gonna get into the thing that happened actually after the Jaguars game yesterday in the NFL, because I think that's kind of a fascinating topic, and the way people are reacting to it is it sort of encompasses I feel like a lot of the current state of affairs in society and American society and politics and stuff like that on, extreme viewpoints. But I'll give you my thoughts on that and explore it a little bit coming up. But starting with the CBA thing, because it is the topic du jour. Somebody left in my comment section the other day, because there is a lot of, and I know I titled this video this way, WNBA Doom, because there's a lot of takes out there that say this may be the end of the WNBA and everything like that. So I'm sort of playing around with that and feeding into that, of course. But I saw somebody in my comment section the other day say contract negotiations are like a cat stuck in a tree. There's a lot of yelling or crying, but you don't see any cat skeletons in a tree. It's going to get done. The deal will get done. There is too much to lose for it not to get done. But there is like the bigger picture part of it that is kind of fascinating when you really pick it apart and go through the discussion. Like Mick, who is also in this YouTube space, posted this yesterday or the other day, whenever it was, January 10th. I guess that's Saturday. Caitlin Clark really might end up indirectly causing the WNBA to end. Dun, dun, dun. And as you see, it has 5 million views. So people were talking about it, sharing it, and whatever. So this premise, what is the theory behind it? Caitlin Clark causing the WNBA to end. It's she caused the WNBA to have explosive growth to the point where the players pushed their chips into the middle of the table for the CBA negotiations. That gave them the leverage. And now the league doesn't feel it can give in to those demands, more or less, right? Like, because let's be real about it. The leverage that the players have has been created in large part due to Caitlin Clark. My stock line, the shirts say, pay us what you owe us. They could say, pay us what you owe her. Since she came in, that is what changed the dynamics of the ratings and the attendance, and the media rights deal went up, so on and so forth. All that explosive growth ensued from there, which is, the players could be fighting for the revenue share regardless, but the revenue pie is so much larger, and it would have been unimaginable for them to be in the position to ask for what they're asking for now if that did not happen. Now, as it goes along, everybody else has become bigger stars. The ratings across the board have gone up, even for games not involving her. Of course, the trickle-down effect, rising tide lifts all boats, however you want to put it. But you can certainly look at it that way. Like, that's not a wild way to look at it. And it's why Nafisa Collier, doesn't accidentally call out Kathy Engelbert using Caitlin Clark's name. Or, when she says, look at our pay and how bad it is, cite Caitlin Clark specifically, right? And that is not untrue. It's not untrue that, and the irony of it is, I guess that, there's been so much pushback to the idea of her being I'll just use the word catalyst instead of the reason, the catalyst for the explosive growth, that now it is that explosive growth that is being used to position the players to reap the benefits. So as Bart Simpson would say, the ironing is delicious. It's a fascinating story from the beginning to the end when you really look at it, but it's going to get worked out. And the players, I remember, I think a few years ago, we're looking for $1 million max salaries, and now it's going to exceed that, right? Like, that's the other thing we have to realize is the deal that the players could leave on the table is so much more lucrative for them than the existing deal that, you know, eventually that's going to get signed, sealed, and delivered. And then you're going to have a crazy free agency, and you're going to have on top of that the expansion drafts. Of course, before that they got to do the tempo and the Portland Fire. So it's going to be heavy, hot, heavy, rapid fire once these things are actually agreed to. So that is coming and on the way. But I did find it, I do find it kind of fascinating when you think about it from beginning to end, where this really got pushed into high gear in 2024, and it was the topic du jour, and it created an entire economy, including in this space right here. And then the WNBA grows as a result, women's college basketball grows as a result, so on and so forth. But in the middle of it was all of this, don't give one player all the credit. Don't forget the pioneers and everything like that. When that one player was also saying, don't forget the pioneers, and don't, not necessarily trying to give all the credit, but all of those hours and hours and minutes and seconds of discussion and debate that really we wouldn't be where we are right now, and the players wouldn't be in this position if that didn't happen. So that's more or less the long and short of it. And so that's why I think the post that he posted blew up to the degree that it did. But bottom line is, look, the players deserve a lot more money. The league is positioned better than it has been in ever. Let's just put it that way. The league is positioned better than it has been ever, and you're gonna see it get done. Breanna Stewart said February 1st, I think, and she's been. I appreciate her tact in all this and the way she sort of presented it, because she's been a lot more. I don't want to know if I want to say optimistic, but less like, the idea that it's all, never going to come to fruition. And the players have taken a pretty hard line stance, but we also hear from them way more than we hear from ownership. And I do believe we're at the point in time here where nobody cares other than seeing it get resolved. You're not, I know people, they like to look cool by saying either the players are idiots or the league are scoundrels taking all their money, and they gotta fight and hold the line. But I feel like a deal's gonna get done, and that's really what matters in the to anybody, to any fan. Here's what Stewie said on with Sarah Spain, by the way, just so you have some of that perspective.
Realistic goal for the CBA to be done.
Realistic goal, like a timeline?
Mm-hmm. What do you actually think will happen?
I think, obviously it's not going to be done tomorrow. Which
the third deadline.
Exactly. The third deadline. Which sucks for sure. It sucks for everyone involved. But at the same time, we'll continue to negotiate in good faith. It doesn't mean on Saturday we're gonna have a lockout.
Right.
Unless the league does something that we're not prepared for, that's not gonna happen. But hopefully everything can be done by February 1. Because it's even if we agree, we still have to wait for contracts to be written. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot to be thinking about. It's not just oh, you're done now, it'll work. If we can get by February 1, we'll all be in a good place.
So to me, that almost sounds like the floated deadline, right? Like the soft deadline, February 1 And you know, the players would benefit from having Breanna Stewart serve as the spokesperson right now, because that's another part of the thing that has rubbed some people the wrong way is the PA's statements almost come off like the comment section a lot of times. And I don't think they understand who they're actually speaking to sometimes. Like the people who are consuming this on social media, again, for the million, I say this about everything, but that is not the vast majority of fans, right? That is not the vast majority of people, but you do like have folks who will take it a certain way when they understand you're going to get paid so much more, that all of this is relatively new. And then you take the stance like they're draconian in their ways, and they're, you know, like, calm down. Now, there's also all the new fans, and that's been a topic of conversation for quite a long time as well. You know, and nobody would be in this position without the new fans. You know, that's another part of it that is kind of hilarious in a sense, because the new fans were like treated like pariahs. Like, I hate the new fans, you know, go away. And for the folks that acted like they were, you know, part of the band before it blew up and got popular. But without those new fans, the players would not be in the position they are either. Of course, those new fans coming with Caitlin Clark, and to a degree, the rest of the players in that rookie class. I mean, Angel Reese, obviously the big name, and so on and so forth. But that's where you stand. The players would not be in this position if it wasn't for the last couple of years. At the same time, they, you know, should fight for what they can get in this deal. But the way I look at these deals, or the way I've seen it before, you have deal A, deal B, deal C. Like, you're not going to get it all in deal A, meaning, you know, have some more years of track record and tenure, and then get going. And, you know, some of this other stuff that's going on is not necessarily the leverage that maybe it would have been at one point, you know, unrivaled. I noticed some people talking about it over the weekend. So hopefully they did better over the weekend than in their initial ratings for the debuts, because it was down quite a bit from last year with the novelty. But that goes to show you, one, the institution that is the WNBA. Because Kathy Engelbert said the thing about Caitlin Clark allegedly to Nafisa Collier, that she should thank the WNBA for the platform that she has. And while that makes no sense for Caitlin Clark, who brought in this massive audience, it does make sense as a sentiment, because you don't just replace the infrastructure. You don't just replace the legacy. You just don't replace the audience or the brand recognition of the WNBA. And that benefits the players. Because, you know, you got big name players playing. I mean, Paige Becker is playing in Unrivaled, and it was still crickets. You know, and Paige has played well. Chelsea Gray is awesome in Unrivaled, by the way. Aaliyah Boston is playing very well and shooting the ball to a degree where you might think that could translate over to the Fever and really help them out as they go along, because Unrivaled did develop players very well. And I'm not saying anything judgmental about Unrivaled. You know, I feel like, you know, I've always said I'm rooting for it, but it goes to show you don't just replace the WNBA. And I know Nafisa Collier said like sustainable business, but there's no proof that that's a sustainable business. So the players need the WNBA. The players need the WNBA. And of course, the WNBA and the owners are going to try and run out the clock as much as they can, because they have deeper pockets. And that's the way these negotiations always work. But bottom line, unless the parties involved are truly delusional, this deal's going to get done. It's just annoying. It's just the nature of the beast when it comes to these things. Joe Lala. My experience in bargaining, the quiet is a good sign. When there is contention, it is always good to see quiet, because they're trying to figure out the deal. Yeah, and I feel like it's gotten a lot more quiet in the last however many, recently, let's put it that way. It's got more quiet. So that's a good sign. And again, I do think the deal is getting done. Member chats, super chats go first, as you can see. Get those likes and subscribes in, and we can get back to this a little bit later in the show as well. But yeah, that's my take on it. And I know, like, it's so much easier to get clicks, by the way, if I just were to come out and yell and scream and carry on. I get it. It's just not how I'm built, right? Which will get me to the next topic too. What are you scared of, Kevin? I have been getting good, there's good audience interaction on this topic. And you got it. So we can get back to that. I also going to get your guys' opinion on something in a minute. But I did want to talk about this for a second because I feel like it is this is kind of interesting across the board. This reaction to what happened after the playoff game in the NFL with the reporter interaction with the Jaguars coach. Basically, here is the exchange. If you haven't seen it, Liam Cohen, the coach of the Jaguars, and this is a media scrum, a press conference. Basically, what happens here is he gets up on the podium. There's a bunch of reporters, media members sitting there. They're raising their hand or whatever. Somebody's pointing them out, and they go question by question. And the question here, or I wouldn't call it a question, but the comment here was made by Lynn Jones of the Jacksonville Free Press, and this went very, very viral.
How you doing today? Lynn Jones, Jacksonville Free Press News. I just want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank you.
You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
You did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
So a pep talk, if you will, given to the Jaguars head coach by a reporter. And this really blew up because Adam Schefter posted it out there. And Adam Schefter put it out there. And of course, he has a huge audience, given the NFL is an absolute monster. If you've ever, we talk about ratings here. Like, if the NFL had anybody else's ratings, they would, jump out of a window or something. The ratings for the NFL, it's the single most popular thing in this country. Is my stock line when I'm doing general sports talk. The single most popular thing in this country. But Adam Schefter had posted that exchange and said, I'm trying to find his post. He just posts so much. It's hard to sort through. He said, here, this was an awesome moment or something after the game. Awesome post-game exchange between a reporter and Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen. And since then, a lot of reaction has ensued, and a lot of reporters and media members had something to say, including, I think I called it unprofessional, which I stand by. I don't think that was a professional exchange. But so many people have. Here's what I think. I think what happened here is you got a bit of confusion between nice to see and integrity, right? This exchange between the Jaguars head coach and the reporter, because it was nice to see. It felt good. And in a day and age where we see hostility and just people being frankly mean all the time, and divisiveness, and even with the media, people hate the media because they feel like the media is playing gotcha games, which isn't totally false, right? Like, some are trying to set the trap 100%, but everybody out there is trying to get a good quote or a good story or something that makes people read, consume their work. I mean, in the business model sense, click on it, consume it, ad dollars. So there is that cynicism about the media. And it's why athletes don't like talking to the media. There's no, what's the benefit for them? The benefit for the fans is a level of transparency, a level of accessibility, and the answers to the questions you might have on your mind, right? Like that's the benefit to the fans. So I think there's this divide between nice to see and integrity, because it was nice to see. She obviously, seems like a lovely woman and has been doing it a long time and is serving a specific audience in Jacksonville. I believe that is a black newspaper, as well as one that has been in business for quite a while, and of course is very local. So the people that are consuming it and reading it probably aren't going to be so off-put by Duval and the shout out, and that, the feeling of it being close to home. And then others on the outside just see it and go, that's a nice moment. And then there's the integrity part of it, where, sorry, you shouldn't be in a press conference just giving the coach a pep talk. You're technically supposed to be unbiased. And secondly, that's not a question. It's one thing to say congratulations on a great season, follow it up with the question. And so you see a lot of media members going reporter, and because the cynicism's already aimed at the media members, people are like, look at them. And here's the thing. Like I said, I think it was unprofessional. I'm not mad. I'm not furious. I'm not even saying revoke her credentials or anything like that. I just took umbrage with Adam Schefter's wording of awesome exchange between a reporter and a coach, because that was not exactly, reporting or the nature of the business. So now you have this big discussion on media. I even see Pat McAfee post this today. He says, love seeing these sports journalists getting absolutely buried for being curmudgeon bums. Obviously not all of them, but a large percentage of these things hate sports. These things, they hate what sports are for people, happiness. They hate what sports are for society, unifier. They're political journalists by nature who've preyed on sports because they saw it as an easier path to make it. Their days are numbered. My show being broadcasted on ESPN 10 hours a week with zero creative say from any journalism school puppets is living proof of that. That's why they attack me as much as possible. I'm happy the world is starting to see what they truly are. Now we as a society have to stop taking these particular humans seriously. Their opinions and thoughts are coming from a place of wanting to destroy sports. Sports are the greatest thing on earth. These motherfuckers have no idea and will never get it. Also, thank you, Lynn Jones, for setting up a situation for me and all of us on how Liam Cohen, a man who might be a GOAT when he's done, handles compliments during one of his most miserable moments. He handled it with class and humility. Feels like some journalism was actually done there. A little over the top from Pat McAfee there as well. A little smidge. Just to go scorched earth on all his enemies and whatnot. By the way, what Pat McAfee has done with his platform is tremendous. I mean, all you can do is salute it. And there is a rawness to what he brings that brings in a lot of audience, brings in a lot of people, appeals to a lot of people because it's not stiff. And, but people can also say that wasn't professionally responsible or journalistically sound or a good use of the press conference without being curmudgeon bums also. And I feel like it's really a microcosm of almost every issue. And I can use this to paint that picture because it's so low stakes. All this was a woman saying nice words to an NFL head coach. The drawback could be it wasn't the proper forum for that. It wasn't the proper use of being a reporter. It wasn't professional, right? Like that's one side of it. But the other side of it is, it was nice to hear. It was a human moment. And instead of being able to just articulate that, it's, look at these bums. The media, they're miserable and they should all be buried beneath my boots. And the other side of it is like, oh my God, take her credentials away. She is a disgrace. This is not the ethics that I went to school for and earned my degree. Like, and that's every issue, right? Like, it is every single issue where it's either like the worst thing that's ever happened or the best thing that's ever happened, or proof why you suck and proof why this is great. And there are much more serious issues at play, but I kind of saw it that way. Let me know what you think, because it's exhausting. The other, what I'm outlining, it's exhausting as somebody who has like, informed opinions, and tries to, look at things. I get called a fence sitter in the comment section all the time because I try to see all perspectives of things and not like just come in yelling and screaming about, one thing or the other. What do you guys think? We can get to these too. Of course, member chat, super chats go first. Kim Kelly says, are all CBA 7 years, or the players ask for a new CBA in 3 years to compare the growth? You know what? I'm not sure, but they shouldn't be. I don't think it should be a set level of duration. I don't think it should be set. I think, that's what I would be negotiating if it was possible, is a an out, right? Like, so that the deal can go, and then they can renegotiate it. That's what I'd be looking at. Sorry, Robin, love your attempt at nuance, but once again, you step into a mess and take the wrong side. And what type of world do we live in where compliments are now unprofessional? Well, I don't think that's the forum to just give the coach a pep talk. I mean, that's not your job, is the way I would look at it. Is it, again, I'm not mad. Is it nice to see human to human? Yeah. But I do think it's unprofessional from the sense of your profession, and the purpose of being there is to gather information and not take, not be pom-poms out, regardless, but it's not a big deal. That's what I was saying. And this is what drives me, it was really, I've done this when I've tiptoed into the political mess, and I try not to do it because there's just one, I'm like, you ever seen The Big Lebowski? I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I believe in nothing, Lebowski, because it feels there was a period of time where I was really passionate and really fighting for things. And it's just like, it was COVID that set me over the edge, because I saw everybody arguing every day about, and taking these hardline positions, and common sense being thrown out the window about everything. And I saw it across the board. And now I see it across the board all the time too, where even like the most serious thing, like the loss of human life, becomes some sort of one side or the other, right? Like, and we've seen that obviously very recently with what happened with the ICE agent, and we saw it with Charlie Kirk, where someone's life is now, you're on this side or the other side about someone being killed. And when that's the world that we're living in, like, I don't know what to do. What do you want me to do? You can't win. So that was like I know this is so much more. That was the point. That was why I was trying to use this, because it's so low stakes. And I can think it wasn't the right forum for it, and it wasn't professional, but not be like outraged about it. Like, so there you have it. Member chats, super chats, go first. Get those in. Looking to see if I missed any. Wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'm going for some, I shaved this morning. I'm feeling the haircut too. I saw somebody say something nice about the haircut. Yeah, there you go. And you guys can hit the like button as well. And I'm working on the background, a little insight into my like, I know it shouldn't, but that's the kind of thing that seems incredibly daunting to me. I could talk like this for hours on end, but like the idea of figuring out what to do with that white wall behind me, like wants to give me a panic. I want to have a panic attack. I'm thinking I'm just going to throw up this behind me to make it less, and maybe even just get rid of the shelf altogether. And then I could figure out what to spice it up with, but I don't know. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to get it done. I gotta upgrade the whole thing. So, any other stuff you want to talk about? Let me know. Member chats, super chats, go first. Like I said, actually, a lot of people in here today. Thank you. Appreciate that. Want everybody's opinion though. And, you don't have to be a member or a super chat, but I have to give the members first dibs as part of the situation. So background never bothered me. Says, see now I don't. But Wallace says clean look, good plan. Oh, from anywhere. The Clark basketball. Well, that could go up on if I do like a floating shelf or something on that gray background. I don't know. I have people say I had Diana send me some wallpaper and she sent it in the community. Oh, people are liking it though. Now y'all got me in the well, Jim Lee is the greatest artist of all time. I mean, maybe I'll just do a poll, change the background or not. Let me put that up there. This has been torturing me for quite a while. Hold on. I'm going to do it while we're live. Posts. Poll. How do you do a poll? No. How do you do a stinking poll? Here we go. Change my background. Yes. No. Okay, that's up there if you want to vote, so I can make sure I actually have a real pulse of the audience. What to put in the items always drives me crazy too. I don't know, Yeah, I could put Caitlin Clark's logo on the wall. But then I'm like, I don't want to propagate. I mean, I know I talk about Caitlin Clark a lot, trust me, and a lot of you identify me that way. I'm not mad at that, but I also don't want to, I don't know. This was what I was talking about with this is what I was going to do. And just move the shelf and do the whole wall that way. And then just be plain in front of that until I figure out how to spice it up a little bit. But that's my goal. That was my plan. Let me know if you like that plan or not. I'll get to some of the I see Chicago Cheetah. He's asking me a bunch of women's college basketball questions. I mean, I don't think any of these teams are that much better than the others. UConn, I do think, is better than everybody else, but they also play in the Big East, so they don't play anybody either. I mean, they played Michigan, though, and they played some teams early, but I do think Michigan's a cut above everybody else. Tweet hanging up is so funny, though. People like that, too. People like that. Man. See, you guys know you're stressing me out now? Get any likes and subscribes in. Audie Crooks has been a topic of conversation. I don't think she defends well enough. I don't think she spaces the floor. She's a beast on the block, that's for sure. I mean, I have lighting. I have lights on me right now. And I have another one. And then I also have natural sunlight coming from over here. So I also don't want the background to be distracting. I'm trying to be the focus. Look at me. We got a home decor department going on now. I guess I should just make the decision and do it. Everyone will be fine. It will be okay. It will be okay. Get those likes and subscribes in. I'm not doing any dark or neon lighting. It's nothing like that. It's just my texture of the background. Make it less white. But then again, I'm sure most people care a lot less than I do. This is what Kim Kelly says about Audie Crooks. Her stamina is that of a WNBA player, not that of a WNBA. Yeah, she's going to have to be in better shape, that's for sure. But even if she's in better shape, can she move her feet well enough to not have to play drop coverage all the time? Can she extend her range to shoot the ball? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Wallace. You want to do it for me? I swear, if there's somebody who wants to do it for me, I'll just hand you the keys, and you can, especially if you're local, let's just cut a deal. I am still waiting on the Polar sponsorship also. Working on that too. Well, not necessarily just Polar, but all these things, obviously I want to get in place before next season. Green screen. I gotta rely on AI for everything either. I mean, I think something I don't have to think about. That's the most important thing, so that I can just do my job and focus on you. All right, that'll probably do it for today, guys. Any other member chats, super chats? Get them in right now. I'll hang out for another minute or two. That's what I'm saying. It stresses me. Like I'm about to have a panic attack live on air right now about something stupid like that. If anybody has any recommendation, just send me the contact. So let me see did we get any results here? Sure we did. Oh, by the way, this is especially for Philip, who's always in the comment section. Philip, I will be on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 tomorrow during this time slot, noon to 2. So talking some WWE Raw and the like. Cody Rhodes losing the championship on Friday night on SmackDown. He's always asking me when's the next time. So Philip, if you're in the comment section, there you go. But that's what I wanted to get into today, guys. Appreciate you all as always. Going to schedule one of the member chats. Thank you. Thank you, Katie. I need a psychiatrist. That's all there is. That's the moral of the story, is Robin needs to see a psychiatrist. So maybe the white wall is a metaphor for what I truly need is a padded white room. There you go. Like and subscribe. Get all that stuff in. Appreciate you all. Check out the videos from over the weekend. Obviously, keep the videos coming. I'll get another live in this week as well. But I thought the reporter exchange was interesting and wanted to expand on that. And, of course, like I said, the WNBA, CBA, it'll get worked out, but it is a big, ironic situation, even if I don't think it's actually doom. Until the next one, y'all. Eat.